with detachment. So we're gonna know what those 5 levels of detachment may be. And yeah, so the announcement is always the same. Just please put your name and number. So if you go from in touch with any COVID or situation, we can track you guys. We still very simple with our activities of Thinking Path. Our lectures on Tuesdays nights at 7 p.m. and our gospel at home Thursdays night at 9 p.m. through the WhatsApp net that we always send reminders. Unfortunately, not much going on our other activities like test kits and other stuff due to not many people around as workers and as public as well. But yeah, we will be very grateful for you guys to come with us and celebrate and pray. So that's very important for us to keep our activities going on. So I just would like to invite you to our prayers tonight before Colleen starts. Just invite you guys to close your eyes, take a deep breath in, and release. Release in gratitude, release in love, because we are here with our friends on the spiritual world. We would like to extend our gratitude to the mentor of this house, Pedro Mago, that always coordinates jobs and the work that needs to be done. We would like to extend our gratitude to all the workers with Pedro that help us through all the works that we do here. The prayer, the lecture, the healing passes, the spiritual systems. But most of all, we are grateful for the love that He brings to us and share with us. We thank you. We are grateful for Jesus, our Master and Big Brother, that show us the way. There is no way through God if not through Jesus and His teachings. So thank you, Jesus. We are grateful for the tutors of this land, Australia, that now we call home. We are very grateful to live here. So we thank you to allowing us to do that. We are grateful for you, dear Father. Thank you for the opportunity to be incarnated. Thank you for the opportunity to be in this school, to learn in this school, to share, but most of all, in this school, to be with friends on this journey. Thank you so much. We are grateful for tonight. We are grateful for our lives. And with that, so be it. All yours, Colleen. Thank you.
Thank you. How beautiful to begin. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. It is such a gentle evening. The numbers are small in spirit as well as in the numbers there at your house, at our house, yes. But it is incredibly uplifting to be able to share once again with you a topic that we have, for many of us, done a number of times. Jackson and yes, who was that?
Especially Jackson.
Yes. It is a wonderful opportunity once again to explore, and I encourage those online that are watching to examine or to go back and look at the definitions and the presentations that Di and Jackson have done in recent times, their contributions to the discussion of detachment and attachment, and that which brings us to this point are beautifully presented. So Di was the last presenter. When was that, Di? In November?
About detachment?
Yes.
Yeah, it was last year. I don't recall.
Yes. So please go back if you need a refresher, because I am not wanting to really go over the same stuff. It was a magnificent, can I say, scripture. It is like scripture that Hamed shares with us. Can we look at that for a moment? Detachment, he says, leads us to develop a broad sense of freedom and confidence in ourselves. Our dungeon lies in being attached to our intimate acts and attitudes. We are arrested in shackles by our own mental creation and do the same with those we love. The mind attached to facts, events, and people are unable to realize, so we are unable to realize our true essence. One who is clinging to ego is as if empty of that which is sacred. But one that is freed from the ego learns that we are always that which is sacred. Hamed is putting us on the spot here. He is and has shared so much of his insights with us. But he, along with so many others, are sprouting the same essence of the need to accept ourselves as we are, and that is as sacred beings, to release the need to go into that spiraling discussion which happens so often, even in PESC, to say, oh, they are great and we are getting there. Oh, they are inspirational, but we are not yet that inspirational. If we let that go, Hamed tells us that we too will recognize our sacred and magnificent self. The world's people are distracted from the events of the past and the present, full of personal desires that muddy and infect their cosmic vision. This prevents them to expand and express spontaneously and naturally his innate religiosity. Once lost, the people's spirit, although alive, are as if dead. And he quotes Jesus and he says, indeed, what does it profit a man to gain the whole world but ruin your life? For whoever will save his life, and Hamed puts in brackets here, clinging to ego, you will lose it. Losing your view of the self. And whoever loses his self, if you let go of the ego, because of me, you will find it. To integrate the self, which is the holy self, which is you, which is your authentic self, which is your divine being. It is mentioned so many times over and over in scripture, in the Bible, in the Quran, in the Buddhist texts, in the Tao texts, in the Upanishads. To let go of the ego and find your sense that is divine. Not find God, but find yourself. This is remarkable because so much in Spiritism we are challenged by the ideas that we are on the road to finding our divinity. This is an attachment to an idea. Yes. Hamed tells us we must break all shackles and expel the 1,000 voices that swarm our house mental. This is a brilliant translation from the Portuguese to English. Our house mental, but our mental being. Thus we will be clean and naked, free and uncluttered, free from everything. Today, I have drawn upon a beautiful text called The 5 Levels of Attachment. In previous lectures, I have used this author's father's books, the 4 agreements and the 5th agreement, and also the tree of knowledge. This one is the 5 levels of attachment, and it delves into the Toltec wisdom. It is no different to the Ho'oponopono. It is no different to that which Hamed speaks to us. It is no different to the texts from ancient times to the present. Everyone speaks of the authentic self. And for us to be called to release the need to be attached to the ideas of we are not good enough. We are not there yet. So the 5 levels of attachment, 1 is the authentic self. 2, the authentic self or humankind can then use preference, which is a level of attachment. Number 3 is identity. Identity where attachment becomes a part of who we are, what we think we are by our labels. Internalization is the 4th level of attachment, where those labels become actually the essence, the voices that are within that govern our choices, where our knowledge takes over from who we are. And then fanaticism. Yes, yes. Just a second, just a second. I'm trying to get back on screen, sorry.
So good.
There we are. It would be great to hear from everyone. Where do you think you sit in these 5 levels of attachment? Yes, before we delve into them. Yes. The floor is open. Anybody?
Certainly myself in all of them. Absolutely. Fanaticism. I am a grandiose supporter. Fanatic. Grêmio is a soccer team. In internalization, well, that one, yeah, identity, I think everybody is.
Definitely.
Right? And preference as well. Everybody has its own preference and fight for it. And authentic self is, yeah, it's the personalism that everybody has as well embedded. Some more, some less. I just would like to ask to speak a little bit more about internalization. I just missed that.
Colleen, I
Yes.
have a question.
Yes.
Are those levels in a specific order, like a hierarchy order, or they are not? Is that like you progress to that attachment to the fanatism? Is that how you read it?
Yes, so this is a great question. Jackson, first of all, we will look at each of these levels and discuss them a little bit more. For Gisele, yes, the levels of attachment are strongest at number 5. It is when we are totally governed by the knowledge, totally governed by that which we have learned, be governed by domestication,
So that
governed
would
by
be-
fear.
so
And
that
then, yes,
Sorry, keep going.
you go.
No, I just say, so that fanatism would be more like if you you attach to one idea and dismiss others, one religion, one belief, and dismiss others. Would that be the case?
It is, I sense this is going to be a great discussion. The 5 levels are constantly changing within us. We will be looking at the challenge for each of us to examine what we say, what we feel, and how we act at any given time, and question ourselves, is this our authentic self? Or is this something that I have acquired and created as a construct to identify me, to create a profile which I am trying to project? So these kinds, everything in between. So we are introduced, I guess, by this framework that Don Miguel Luis Jr. presents. It is just a framework, but I find it compelling because every time now I say something, I go, where did that come from? Is this pain speaking? What attachment have I to this emotion? And is this emotion trying to tell me something about unresolved attachments that need my acknowledgement, my blessings, and my treatment in some way? Yes, yes. So Don Miguel Luis tells us that becoming aware of our attachments is the start of any process, recognizing which beliefs we have either become identified with, internalized, or fanaticized, and it is the first step in moving towards our authentic self in any situation. What is our authentic self? I guess that is the question. It is the acknowledgement, as Hamed speaks, that we are divine in our essence, in our being, in everything that we are, if but we embrace it. Accepting the truth at that moment is accepting ourselves for who we are, attachments and all. Attachments are neither good nor bad. They are neither right nor wrong. But do they bring us at any given time the joy and the peace of heart and the connection with others that we long for? And this is our question. Do I want to keep that attachment? And if not, then let's do something about it. Yes. So the 5 levels of attachment are not there. So that's really, oh, here we are. There you go. Thank you. So level 1 is the authentic self. I am sorry that I have written so much, but I would like everyone to have some kind of record so that if you do not read the book, then maybe you can glean some of the wisdom that has been passed down. Yes. So I may skip some parts, but at least it is recorded for us to go back and to check. The authentic self represents the full potential of life. It is always present in everyone. It is only our attachments that keep us from remembering who we are. When we are in our authentic selves, we become aware that nothing but harmony exists, and we are in constant communion with our Creator. We are at one. This is when we are completely in the moment, when judgment stops and harmony takes over. We have the potential to love unconditionally because we have no conditions for self-acceptance, just a willingness to engage love with a respect for self and others. And this is a really important point because so often we say it is important for us to study. It is important for us to know who we are. It is important to study that which has been given to us. But with the authentic self, knowledge is a tool by which we can communicate with the rest of the world. It is a tool for each of us to use, but not to be governed by. This is an important differentiation. Sorry. No, I can't change. Sorry. Okay, so this is the second part of this one, authentic self. This is the level of no attachment whatsoever. You are not really clinging to anything. You welcome any event and let it pass through you like any other fleeting occurrence. Whatever happens, you are not affected by it. You're ready to experience any situation with no yearning for it to extend or shorten in duration. At this level of attachment, you perceive your preferences and material possessions as separate from your being. So there's no identity involved. Moreover, you realize how intense feelings are merely chemicals running through your body and are impermanent. You welcome any emotion with open arms, feel it, let go, and allow the next to take its place. But at the same time, acknowledge that emotion is just an authentic part of your human experience. The authentic self is a state of being similar to meditating and contemplating your thoughts as they pass by without holding on to them. It is as a newborn. You don't hold on to any ideologies, beliefs, or preferences at all. Yeah. I'm not good at this, guys, sorry. So the second level is preference. And at this level, we still move with our authentic self because we are aware that we can use knowledge as a tool. We have the awareness that the act of engaging in life is an act of love. And because we are choosing the direction in which we want to go and how we want to live, this is the act of unconditional love for ourselves. So this is when we show preference. Our awareness allows us to live without needing to distort knowledge to fit our individual points of view. It's not corrupted by our sense of self-importance or any form of conditional love. Preference is remarkable. It doesn't give us a sense of power, but it gives us the sense of our creative selves because we are choosing to do one thing over another or to barrack for one football team over another. But after the game, in the football game sense, we just let the game go. We do not invest in saying, oh, that team is better than the other. We just find enjoyment out of our selection of what we choose to do in the next moment. This allows us to love the people in our lives for who they are and without a need to domesticate them to see our point of view. My yeses and nos to knowledge and choices are the chisels or the paintbrushes for which I create my canvas. So this is an important point. My preference, and I allow your preference. I allow you to do what you want to do because it is your expression of how you want to live. This is different to the authentic self because the authentic self does not show that sense of true engagement so much as allowing life to proceed as it needs to without painting it in a particular kind of way. Yes, does that make sense? So the second one on preference, at this level, you still consider yourself as detached from your inclinations. You can easily attach and detach yourself, as with the football game. It doesn't matter whether the other side won or lost. It was a great game and I really enjoyed it. And you are aware of the process that is happening when you attach and you detach yourself. You are in total control of your beliefs and opinions and not the other way around. Although you have cherished convictions, you value other people's differing ideas as well. Your peers are not only people who comply to the same ideologies as yours, and so having friends with dissimilar interests colors your life, enriches your experience of the world, and gives you that sense of a greater understanding of the world around you and not a tunneled vision. Yes, yes. Any questions so far? So level 3 is identity. And at this level, we are our names. And our identity gives us a purpose and a sense of belonging. We identify ourselves with our knowledge. It gives us a grounding sense that allows us to feel we have a place, and it gives us a point of reference by which we identify and engage with another. We become attached to the mask of our identity. It's often based on the color of our skin, our nationality, of our family, our religion, the political party that best supports our beliefs, the sports team, our work. It would be great to stop here right now and ask each of you, as Clara did last week, which was lovely, to stop and on a piece of paper or on your phone, just ask yourself, who am I? Who am I? It may be a list of 5 or 6 or 7 things that you select to use to identify yourself. Just a couple of minutes for each of you. Yes. As we write these down, I can hear 1,000 voices speaking, the narrators in your hearts. Yes. Can I share my thoughts? My thoughts are, I am Colleen. I am a young woman. I am a medium. I am a child of God, yes. I am, what else? I am a daughter. I am a sister. I am a friend. I am a dependent. I am also a cripple. And I am also, what can I say? There are so many things that we label ourselves with. And this is what we, I guess, call our identity. When we go to a party, the first thing we do when we meet a new person, hi, my name is Colleen. The other will say, hey, Colleen, how are you? I am good. So I ask, so, George, what do you do? And he will tell me about his work. And he will tell me about his family. So he is a dad. He is an office worker. He is something. This is a mask. And it is sometimes, I guess, a trap for us to commit to labeling ourselves. Yes. Can I ask someone to volunteer to share their list of, yes, attachments, ideas of who they are, their identity?
I did some.
Yes.
How many? Because I stopped thinking. I think I went a more philosophical way than like really material, but I start with a daughter. I am a daughter.
Yes.
I am a fur mom. A pet mom. At the moment. I'm a dreamer, but then it's more my like, spiritual way. And in saying that, I am a dreamer, but at the same time, I'm a bit of a lost soul around my own dreams. And then I stopped. Didn't have time to write down more.
Great, great. Alex, are yours great as well?
I thought too much and I didn't write down anything.
It's okay. I sense that so many times when we look for words to describe ourselves, we are, as I said, I heard voices. And these voices, if I can say this, the voices are the judgments about us. So I am a medium. Well, not very good or not so bad. I have my good days and bad days. The narration is constant. When I consider myself a spiritist, well, am I strong spiritist? No, not so weak, not so strong. Am I knowledgeable? I'm not that gifted. And so the narration goes on. In our beliefs, in our sports team, if you follow a sports team, I am an avid sports follower, or I am a casual sports follower. We continue to evaluate where we sit, but it has nothing to do with ourself. It is actually something that we have learned to do since we were children. And this is a word that Dom Miguel Luis Sr. talks about, and that is domestication. We seem to judge ourselves and set up ideas of who we can be depending on what people want to hear and depending on what we want to show others. This domestication is a word that establishes the groundwork for people to follow. It is about a series of rewards and punishments. If you are...
I didn't get that.
Oh,
could you try again?
Sorry. That was Siri. Sorry.
It's okay.
I wasn't apologizing to you. Thank you.
Siri is not understanding the lecture at all.
It's hilarious. So domestication is, it's a system of rewards and punishments by which we model an individual. For every time we get it right, we get a reward. And for every time we get it wrong, we get a punishment. And since we are emotional beings, our reward for getting it right is acceptance, and it feels like love. For every time we don't live up to the expectation, we don't do it right, and then we get the punishment. So what we do is set up a series of identity markers for ourselves, a mask that doesn't reveal our authentic self, because our authentic self is often not appreciated for what it is. This is an extraordinary process that we as human beings have followed since we were children, and we continue to teach our children the same. And so we hold on to the labels that are superficial, and we gauge our success, we gauge others' success by what we identify ourselves with and what they identify themselves with. And then we grade ourselves and grade the others as well. Yes. So a person who gets stuck in level 3 can no longer recognize that process of him attaching himself to something. It happens subconsciously now, because most of the time he is unaware of his thought patterns. At this level, you can wear a mask, a persona, and you can delude yourself that the mask is you. The mask could be anything, as we said before, like your skin color, your nationality, your opinions, your beliefs, even what you own. And now you see those things as a vital part of your identity. You no longer see yourself as an independent human being, because it is now a part of your identity. Whatever happens to that thing, whether it is your job or whether it is about your body, whether something happens to your body, it deeply affects you. If something happens to you on a social level, you may get into arguments defending your political or sporting viewpoints. You may go into deep grief if you now lose the thing that you have identified yourself with, your job or your family or your husband or your wife or your children. I can no longer fulfill that part of myself, and that part of me is gone. But it was never a part of you in the first place. It is that which is part of your existence, yes, your human existence, but you have identified on a very superficial level and not given yourself the great respect to understand, to acknowledge your authentic self. You now perceive your own beliefs and your preferences as the ultimate way of living. So level 4, this one is for you, Jackson. Internalization. At this level, I'm so attached to knowledge that I rely on it for the rules by which I live my life. Knowledge basically becomes a system of reward and punishment as domestication. And so here we begin to love each other conditionally. If you live up to my expectation, then you are worthy of my love. So often we address our children in this way. Do as you're told, and I will give you a hug. Do the right thing, and you will be rewarded. We will go out, we will celebrate. But if you don't, then I will continue to ignore you. I will continue to punish you and give you a hard time. If I don't live up to my own expectation, then I'm subject to my own rejection. The attachment to these beliefs becomes so great that I begin to distort knowledge, because knowledge now has to live up to my expectation. And I have to make it fit my beliefs. Is that okay, Jackson? Yes.
I understand now.
So we internalize everything. We get firmly established as a core aspect the attachments get firmly established as a core aspect of your persona. Detaching yourself from it now would literally feel like ripping your soul off. So as a vegan, you beat yourself up if you slip one day and eat meat. If you see a steak and feel a desire to taste it, you start thinking that you're a bad person for having such desires. Your attachments turn into anchors of self-judgment. And moreover, you choose your friends based on whether or not they are vegan. You feel pity for meat eaters and urge them to turn to veganism. Such is your attachment to knowledge, which is based on what?
I think you are talking to me now, Colleen.
Sorry?
I think you are talking to me now.
Okay, I see. Yes?
I'm just saying, you just said, gave the vegan profile, and
Okay.
I could relate it someone, not all.
Giselle,
Your microphone
your
is
microphone,
terrible.
yeah, your microphone is terrible.
Maybe now?
No,
No,
A bit soft.
it's very muffled.
And now?
Yes, great.
Oh, okay. That thing doesn't work. I'm just saying that as you were giving the profile of vegan in this, I was relating to some, but not all.
Colleen, I think this poses some challenges as well, and the dangerous understanding about discipline and conviction.
Yes.
So, yeah, it's something that needs to be really well taught in terms of understanding the concept that's been put down.
Yes. But it is a reminder that we are rebuking others and ourselves for something that is, knowledge itself is governing our sense of balance. Do you see that? Yes, we long to honor the animal world. Absolutely, we honor the animal world. And if we are slipping, or if we eat something, or if we look at something, is this something to damn ourselves by? Or is it something that just is? To absolutely honor the presence of others when we eat it. And this is the Dalai Lama eats meat because he is unable to survive on just vegetables. But he honors the creatures that support him. The world itself is at loggerheads with each other because of our choices, by what we say, as Jackson said, our convictions. When we launch into our convictions, what is it based on, and are we balanced in that, and are we feeling fulfillment in that? None of these levels are right or wrong, but we do need to question our sense of balance and peace at any given time. And so when we as vegans sit at a meal that has been prepared for us by our mothers, and they have prepared meat and fish and eggs and dairy, do we say, oh my God, no? Or do we honor their presence? Do we honor their commitment? And then as we eat it, we ask the food to nourish our bodies, and we honor the life that has been given to support our beings and to bring us as a family together in this very special moment. It is just a series of questions that this framework is established for each of us, so that we don't go blindly and find ourselves steeped in a sense of justification for who we are and the choices we make, and not even realizing that they are attachments that belittle not necessarily ourselves, but belittle others.
And I believe that even convictions.
I think it's a little bit more complex, and I'm telling you because I am a vegan, so I can tell you from the place that who is going through this internalization.
Yes.
So I think, Colleen, it's not about only honoring the life that was given. To me, it's about supporting an industry that practice cruelty against animals. So it's beyond that.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's much more complicated than that. And I know I would not eat it. I would not eat it.
Yes.
I would not make myself to eat it.
Yes. And this is magnificent, because you have given great thought to your commitment to this attachment, because this is your creation of your life. And this is your magnificent painting that you are the artist, you are the chooser of how you want to live your life. The question that Andre Luis, no, it isn't Andre Luis, no, it is Don Miguel Luis. He is asking us to question our commitments. He is he's asking us to question our attachments, and whether they are enriching our lives or whether they are bogging us down. So many have attachments that they are unaware of and being ruled by. Yes. Being a vegan is just an example. I wasn't trashing veganism at all, Gisele. In fact, I am too. So it is great. And it is, but somehow those that enter on a superficial level are those that are led by what they read, led by what they have been told, and without question, then govern their own lives and the lives of others to manipulate and to distort. This is not just with veganism. This is about everything, with religion, with politics, with how to raise your children. So many times we think we are not attached to the stuff of life. And yet, I guess this book has given me great capacity or great opportunity to explore that which I speak, that which I act, and how I do those things with others. Do I manipulate them? Do I control them by my words, by my actions? The internalization is a process, I guess, that is close to home for all of us, because they are so close to that which we call convictions, ethical convictions. But to just bring it up and to question is healthy. And if we are attached, then we can reassess in what way, and then we can remodel. Yes, yes.
Colleen, can I say as well that even I was trying to say that even even convictions are not something that determine. It changes. It changes as we evolve. And the harder thing is to accept that. It's to understand this. Right? As we go vegan and be convicted that veganism is the good thing, it's because you reach a certain level of development. And accepting that is also a very higher level of development. Accepting that someone can be vegan because they have a different level of understanding. And And this is the way we create the balance. It's always reassessing our convictions and
Yes.
understanding the new
Yes.
things. And one of the things that have evolved, and if you look at the Pietro Valdi, was the concept of justice. Justice changes. The concept of justice changes as we evolve as human beings. At the very primitive time, justice was considered the strongest. So it was justice for the strongest to rule. Later on, much later on, this is not true anymore. This is not justice. It's not the stronger that rules, but other stuff, other things are considered into the context to be justice. Again, it's a result of evolution. Yeah.
Yes. I get that justice is also a problematic one because we are. It is a construct, I guess, by societies to enact some kind of law and order. In the divine sense, justice doesn't exist really in essence. Justice is something that, again, is a construct that we use to help us to understand the forces of nature and the evolution of society, and to call to question the acts and the deliberations of those that have overstepped a particular mark that has been created by society to enact some kind of moral and ethical peace. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, about it gets into the divine justice.
Yes, yes. Thank you. The fifth level of attachment is fanaticism. And at this level, many of us would think that we are never really in this place. And yet it speaks to all of my family at some stage or other. I'm sure at some stage it will be interesting for you, each of you, to examine this yourselves. Knowledge has total control over me and domesticated me. I have no awareness of my authentic self. I see myself only through this identity that I must live up to. And I see everyone in my life as the identity I have given them and that they must live up to as well. At this level, people become so zealous that they're violent towards each other and their cultures go to war with one another. But the driving force behind fanaticism is the need to believe something 100%. It's driven not by hate or anger, but rather an extreme form of conditional love for self and for others. So it is that conditional love that we have learned since childhood that has become habitual, that drives people to this level of attachment. Attachment requires us to try to domesticate others. Alienation is common as we dehumanize others for the sake of the cause, for the sake of religion, for the sake of politics, for social status, for the sake of child rearing strategies, for eating practices or beliefs. Your attachment has been reinforced with emotional commitment to attack, degrade, or ridicule those who do not adhere to the same conviction as yours. Family members suffer when there is rigidity by one or more to uphold certain values, principles, or belief systems, and those who do not conform are not welcome. If a book offers a different viewpoint about your beliefs, you stop reading it. You see opposing ideas as utter nonsense. At this level of extreme attachment, your authentic self no longer pertains because your beliefs and preferences, your knowledge, are now controlling you. And so there is no you but everything about the attachment itself. So should we give up all our attachments and ideologies altogether? Is that the goal? No. The point is to be conscious of our attachments, as we said before, and to distance ourselves from dogmatism. Use your beliefs as vehicles to navigate reality and not as filters that distort reality. How much time do we have? Not much.
Not much.
Okay.
Can you
So,
finish?
sorry?
Are you able to finish in 5?
Okay. So moving towards releasing attachments that we no longer feel okay with. So Gisele, these are the attachments that we don't feel okay with, not the attachments that we feel okay with. The convictions that we have are there because we feel at peace with it. So we're moving from level 5 to level 4, fanaticism, which is the loss of humanity because we no longer appreciate the other. It is just about ourself and about the cause. Fanaticism going to internalization. So it requires the ability to see that our life and all life is more valuable than any idea or belief. The act of questioning produces a moment of clarity that allows us to see the truth. But at level 5, it is difficult to even question our attachments as we impose such strong self-judgment for even thinking there could be another way. We have to listen to what we perceive and reassess our willingness to say yes or no to it with awareness. If we have awareness, then our conviction and our commitment and our attachment is good for you because that is where you are wanting to be. This is your creation. You are the artist. Love and respect for self and others is the beginning of letting go of fanaticism. Moving from level 4 to level 3, internalization to identity. And this requires that we recognize our attachment to the mechanism of conditional love. So if we are steeped in conditional love, if we are aware that we have been domesticated, then this process will be easy. This is where we let go of agreements and conditions by which we deem ourselves unworthy of our own love, and begin to see our attachments from a perspective of objectivity. So the techniques and tools for transformation are just suggestions. Release the pressures of domestication, that you are not good enough, that you are not it is amazing because Di, you keep coming up in my heart. You always say, oh, Andre Louise, or oh, Mother Teresa, or Mahatma Gandhi, or oh, Jesus, they are so good. And I am not there yet. And all I want to say is for you to question your attachment to this idea. It is as if we are all of us, committed to one human body. Gisele, you may be a finger. Jackson, you are a hair on the head of the human, of the body. I am a navel. My mom is a foot. Do we get to see the magnificence of each of the parts of our body? Generally not. I am a navel, and so I sit in the middle of the body. Sometimes a finger touches me. Do I know the purpose of the finger? No, I do not. But the finger is magnificent because sometimes I am itchy and the finger scratches. But do I understand the role, the greater role of the finger? I do not. Do I understand the hair on the body's head? I do not. I do not even know what it is there for because I am just a navel. Do you understand? We do not get to see our own magnificence because we are looking at the magnificence of others. We don't get it. And we always long for something that we are not, comparing our roles, and yet our roles are so different. You are you, Di, and truly magnificent. And your expression is equal to that of Jesus, because you are given opportunity to spread your joy and your experience of life with others, just as Jesus did. And people will speak your name after you are gone. I will. No, I may go first, but I will speak of you as well in the afterworld. Yes.
Thank you.
But do you see this? We are a part of the one, and so we cannot see our own magnificence. And so to compare ourselves with others is nonsense. It doesn't make sense. If I compared myself to those in my family, it doesn't make sense because I do not run. I do not laugh out loud. I make jokes, but it is in a convoluted way. These are expressions, each of our expressions of life are magnificent and divine and awesome. So if we release the need to use language that degrades us, because it shows that we are still attached to that idea, and yet Hamed speaks of it. We are sacred. How does that make us anything less than perfect? Anything less than who we are, what we are, where we need to be right now? It is all brilliant. Yes. So the tools are prayer, using Ho'oponopono, the 5 Toltec agreements, EFT. We are given many, many opportunities to explore finding our authentic self, to finding peace with who we are and finding peace with our attachments. Do we need this attachment? Do we need to speak this way to this person? What's going on there? I think I need to release that attachment, that I feel aggressive because of some kind of energy. I need to let it go. But it is in recognition first and honoring that feeling and that emotion that we can get to that point, and using the techniques to then assist us. But don't feel, if meditation doesn't work or if EFT doesn't work, don't feel as if we are, again, less, because we are who we need to be. And our process is as it needs to be for us, for this finger, for this navel, for who we are. Moving from level 3 to level 2, moving from identity to preference, is the moment we become aware of ourselves without needing to identify ourselves. Level 3 is like having a mask you don't realize you can remove. The moment you understand that the image of the mask is not you, you regain the awareness of your true self. An individual who is completely free to take any direction in life. Letting go of the attachment to identity, to an identity, is recognizing that there is a clear separation between you, the authentic self, and knowledge. You are different. You are an authentic self, that which gives you life and connection to all that is. The knowledge is that which is a tool that you can use to negotiate your way in this lifetime. We're almost there. Moving from level 2 to level 1, preference back to authentic self. Preference is based on an awareness of the authentic self, the living being that is me, and the willingness to engage life. We have the awareness that in the present moment, we can take any direction, but there is a preference or intention for a certain direction, because that is the way I choose to express my life. moving from preference to authentic self is simply the act of disengaging from our preferences as the moment passes. We can then re-engage, attach, or detach at will when we choose to live in the moment. Our authentic self is present throughout each and every level. We can choose to be our authentic self as a being who's completely free from attachment, if that is what we choose to be. This state can be temporarily reached through meditation and simply sitting in the now. Okay, so the rules are not, these are not guidelines for achieving level 1, the authentic self. They're a framework to help us become aware of where we are at this moment in relation to various influences in our lives. Our conversations, the language we use is important. Use language that is uplifting. I am the beauty. The beauty is around me. And I thank the beauty that is. Our actions, our thoughts, our beliefs, our perspectives, our views on our past relationships and experiences, our assumptions. If we choose to remain attached to something that brings us pain, this is a final thing. It is because that thing in some way brings us comfort. If it reveals other emotions, that too needs acknowledgement. Knowing that gives us the opportunity to further examine ourselves and ask ourselves, is it time to release the attachment so that I am free to find peace and joy with this moment, with this thing that is presenting itself to me right now? Attachments are all about us. They are expressions of how we connect with the world. But do they hinder our relationships? Do they cripple us? Do they give us the sense that we are less than? Then we need to question these attachments and say, I'm ready to examine this, and I am ready to find peace with my authentic self. Yes, yes. Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Colleen. As usual, it was magnificent. Thank you so much. I believe everyone here get their hearts touched about your presentation. So we're very grateful for you and your mom to be present with us tonight. Thank you so much.
Thank you too. Thank you all.
Thank you. Thank you.
So if we can abuse of you a little bit more, could you please do our final prayer and box prayer as well? Prayer box, not box prayer. Oh English. Oh English. Sorry.
Good. That's okay.
Detachment. Oh, wrong English. Detachment. Wrong English. What is important is communication.
Yes.
That's the thing.
It's the message.
It's the
It's
best.
the content, not the form.
Yes.
We get it.
Oh, yeah. So yeah, could you please?
Let us find a space in our hearts, in our bodies, space to breathe and to let it go. Our hearts are uplifted as we join in union with all that are present in spirit and in the flesh. We join with the energies of life, of Mother Earth and all things that inhabit it. We uplift our hearts and our minds, our souls, to join with the emancipation of the universe. Because we are love. And all the expressions that we see before us in life, this is love. This is magnificent. This is the gift. We are warmed by the light that penetrates our bodies. We are warmed because we are releasing the need to feel separate. We are releasing that which inhibits us connecting with others. Because at this moment, we are connecting with our loved ones. We are connecting with the world that is in a time of turmoil. But in this connection, we surround ourselves, we surround life eternal from the past, from the present and the future with love, with a sense of appreciation, with gratitude. And we hug all those that are feeling desperate. We hug all those that are feeling lost, that are feeling unloved, that are feeling alone, that are feeling hurt, that are feeling as if no one gives a damn. But we do, and life does. And for us to embrace you all, to embrace life itself, we assist you to find your peace, to find your joy, and to find your connection with us, for we will not leave you alone. For we are here always in light and in love, releasing our energy where we can and when we can. Please continue to communicate your needs to us so that we can be there for you. And we thank you, all of you, for being there for each of us as well. We are so, so blessed in this lifetime to be able to express ourselves so independently and yet be a part of the one that is incredible. We acknowledge everyone's contribution to that which is. We acknowledge everything. And we know that it is within us that which is divine, that which is beyond us, that goes beyond, is divine. And so we ask for nothing more than to be a part of this beautiful process. We thank you all. So be it.
Thank you so much, Colleen. Thank you guys that are online with us. We're gonna leave you guys now. But for those that are here, we just asking you to keep your preparations, and we're gonna be ready for you to have your healing tests. Thank you all. Have a good night. Bye.
Thank you.